So, let's get started. You read the title, you know what this is about. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go for the bottom up, right? Amancio Ortega. Let's look up. I just want to see like pictures of what the nigga looks like, right? Amancio Ortega. There you go. Ooh, ooh, that's not good at all. Nah, that's a very thick neck. You know what I mean? Like that shit might get jammed in there. Like look. I'm a pacifist. I'm a generally like pretty like I'm a hippie in all the ways that matter, right? So ideally, like it wouldn't, cause like I'm afraid that it would like go in there, right? And his neck is so thick that it would like get jammed, and it would just make him. It'd just be like painful, and like no one wants that. You know what I mean? Right. You know, so that'd be pretty bad. I think I'm gonna rank him as like a hmm, D tier. I think is where I'm putting him. Um, all right, so then we have in ninth place Warren Buffett. Hold on. Ooh, see, okay, he old, so it's not gonna jam in there. That much I know for sure, right? Um, hmm. You know what? That one might actually like be ideal because there's like very little fat on his neck, right? It's like very thin. Like there's very little rembourrage, as we'd say in French, right? There's just very little going on there. So it like come down like whoosh, you know what I mean? And there's no chance of it getting jammed. He's very old, so it's not like it's gonna get stuck on the bones and shit like that. You know what I mean? It'd be a very like quick and expedited process. So I think there's no risk involved. I think this is the ideal one to do that too. Uh, Jensen Huang. Uh, Jensen Huang. Jensen Huang. There you go. Let's just look up what he looks like. Alright, I see. Um, Very thin man, a little bit more meat on his bone than Buffett. You know what I mean? Like a little bit more. What nationality is he from? Taiwan. Okay, so he's an American. Uh, well, he is an American. He's pretty thin for an American too. Yeah, look at that neck, dude. That's not a very thick neck at all. That's very French kingable. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm gonna give him. Oh wait, I forgot to rank Buffett, didn't I? Ortega is a C tier because he's not great to do that too. Buffett is a B. No, Buffett is like an A. This is a B. This is like just the average like neck, I think. You know what I mean? Bernard Arnault. Why did I open a private window? Hold up. There you go. Bernard Arnault. There you go. This man is a skeleton. You know what I mean? Realistically, this is like the ideal neck. I'm gonna put him in S tier. Because like you don't even need. I don't even think you need the whole device that I don't think I can say the name of without my video getting in trouble. Like I think you just need like a big knife and you could get that shit done. You know what I mean? That man's a skeleton. You know what I mean? I think yeah. You know what? That's my favorite right there. That's my favorite billionaire. He goes straight into S tier. That nigga. Ooh. All right. So Larry Ellison. All right. Let's see. Who that? I had no idea what that man looked like. Holy shit. Um, he has a very lower jaw. I think like overall he's a pretty average neck. Like I think he's in B tier, but I'd be scared of like his jaw being like so low that it gets jammed in the machine and the guillotine gets like stuck on it. You know what I mean? So it like doesn't cut through his jaw, and at the end when we're supposed to like grab him by the hair and like lift him and show him to the crowd and a proud populace display to the people, it'll look like a little bit disturbing. Which granted, it's a beheading. It's always gonna be, but like it's like particularly bad in this case because like, I don't want it to like cut the jaw, and I don't know how like pain distribution works during guillotine, but I don't want it to hurt extra for it. You know what I mean? I don't want to like take the risk of it getting jammed the jaw and then he has to suffer for no reason. You know what I mean? Once again, I'm not cruel. I'm a populist. That's different, right? So I think off that alone, he might go into. You know what? I'm moving Ortega down into D tier, and I'm moving that nigga that we just saw, Ellison, into C tier, right? All right. So now the big boys. Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg. Thing is, he's too young. He's too young, his bones are too strong, so there's a genuine risk that it might get jammed in there. It's not too likely, once again. This is like the one method that has a very low failure rate. So I'm still confident that it would turn out just fine and there's no need to worry, right? But he does have stronger bones, therefore I'd be worried about it getting jammed in there. So I'd put him in C tier. Slightly below average. B tier is average in my mind. So I'd put him in C. I'd put him in C. Uh, Bezos. Bezos. There you go. Bezos. Hmm. He's less young, so his bones are like still brittle. You know what I mean? Because he is getting up in age. There is the fact that like he is so evil that it would add a level of satisfaction to the act of doing it. Once again, I wouldn't feel satisfaction doing it. I'd do it simply because it's practical and it's the morally correct thing to do, but not because I enjoy it. Once again, I'm a radical pacifist. Violence makes me squeamish. You know what I mean? But he is like evil enough that the level of joy that you would feel doing it to him would participate to the experience. So I think that alone bumps him from B tier to A tier. Does that make sense? That's my thinking, at least. You know what I mean? Uh, Sergey Brin. Sergey Brin. Oh, honestly, yeah, he has a pretty thin neck, honestly. No, it depends on the picture. Now, oh, this is a more recent picture. Yeah, he has a thicker neck. I'd be worried of it getting jammed in there and him having to suffer in ways that I don't think he has to. So I'd put him in C tier, slightly below. You know what? No, he goes into B. He's still like he's obviously like older than he looks. You know what I mean? And like he's got a little bit of that like Ozempic look, so his constitution is already pretty weak. You know, I wouldn't be worried about it jamming in there. He's probably gonna be fine. All right, so second to last one, Larry Page. Larry Page. Oh, I don't know, man. Uh, I'd say he looked old as fuck. Like he doesn't even look like old as fuck. He looks aged. He looks like he is 60 at the age of 45. Does that make sense? That's how I feel about him. Um Kind of brittle, probably. Other than that, he doesn't have a particularly thick neck like Ortega. He doesn't have a particularly brittle neck like Arnaud, right? So I think, yeah, you know what? He's average to slightly above average. I'd put him at the top of B tier, right? And then we have at the number one, Elon Musk. All right, now let me explain to you why this is the most guillotinable billionaire neck out there, right? Let me explain to you why. First off, look at this man. That's a twink, right? Can we all just agree together? That's a twink. He is built like a twig. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. First off, I want to say nothing wrong with that. I'm built like a twig. I think I'm taller than Elon Musk, which is hilarious because I'm 5'7". Uh, but I'm built like a twig too. Nothing wrong with that. If anything, it makes him more ideal. Now, that's not all. On top of that, not only does he have a very thin constitution, but we know he's a ketamine addict, which means his bones are weak as shit, right? It's true. His bones are very weak because his constitution is very weak, right? So not only does he have a very thin and petite figure that makes him very guillotinable, on top of that, he has very brittle bones. On top of that, all the fat goes to his torso and his belly, not his neck. He has a pretty thin neck. All right, so that's another aspect. That's another aspect in which he has like a top tier guillotine pro neck, right? And the third aspect, he is so evil that you would feel a level of satisfaction in doing it, right? Once again, I'm a radical pacifist. I don't like violence, but if you are a little bit more animated than I am, I could see and not blame you for enjoying what has to be done. You know what I mean? And this is the final aspect. This is the most important one, right? Not only is he so evil that it would add a level of satisfaction, but on the off chance that for some reason, like the guillotine like jams halfway through his neck and he like has to suffer on the way out, would that not be fire? Like, would that not add to the experience a little bit? Would that not make it better? With all these other niggas, I'll give it to you. I'm a radical pacifist. I'm a hippie. I'm a big like love and peace guy. You know what I mean? It would not make me happy if any of these guys had to suffer on the guillotine, right? It would genuinely bother me. It's not something that I want. Elon Musk, I personally would actively not care. I think the average person would enjoy that shit. So yeah, that's what I think. That's my perspective on it anyway. I could be wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'd love to hear your own rankings in the comments if y'all feel like leaving those. And so that was my list of the most guillotinable billionaire necks. I realized there's more factors that I took into account than just how guillotinable the neck itself is, like how much satisfaction you feel out of making it happen and such. But there's more to this conversation. Is the point I'm trying to get at here? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'll catch you on the flip side. Maybe my next video will be a bit less deletable off the face of the internet. Peter Thiel is going to kill me.